Hello kids, how are you all? I hope you all are fine, right? Okay, so today we are going to start our biology class for the session 2020-21. So, as you can see on your screen, this is your biology textbook for class 11, right? Actually, I think you all are also having this book. So whenever I'll take the lecture, you have to keep the book as well as one notebook to write the notes, okay, with you always. So, but in this book, I want to show you something. Here we have one page where the units are given and along with that marks are given, okay. So as you can see, we have 5 units and marks are allotted to each. In your book also you can see that. We are going to start with third unit, that is cell structure and function, okay, which is carrying 16 marks. So because these last 3 units are a little important and having more weightage, so we will start with this, okay. So first is cell structure and function. We are going to start today with this unit, that is unit number 3. Before that, I want to also tell you something about this. You can see here, not this, sorry, this one. Design of question paper, okay. You can go through this in your textbook. Here, the pattern is given, okay. How MCQs will come, how many questions will come, like number of questions will be 10 marks, 1 allot, total marks 10, okay. Then long answer type, short answer type, all will be given like this, so you can go through this. This will be the exact pattern how the marks will be allotted you for your exams, okay. So this is what this your exam pattern will be like this. Now let's begin with the concerned topic. So before moving on to the exact topic, here let's discuss some general things about biology, okay. What are those general things? First, if it is visible, see here, what is biology, okay. So you should know what is actually biology. So basically biology means study of life and living organisms, and in living organisms we have plants and animals together, okay. Now you should also know father of biology, okay, who has given a lot of work in the field of biology, who has done so many things, okay. So that's why we have given him the title of father, okay. So father of biology is Aristotle. These are some general things you should know, okay. And whenever I teach you whatever the things is given here and even in the textbook, you have to write them down, okay. You have to make the notes because it will be good for you not only for academics but also for competitive exams. So try to make notes. Then you know that biology is actually the branch which further has 2 main branches. And what are those? Botany and zoology. Botany is what? Study of plants, and zoology means study of animals, okay. So this is the biology branches. Now we will move on to our main topic, chapter 8, cell, the unit of life. Now what is actually the cell? I'll give you just simple example, okay, to define cell. Suppose there is a building, okay. So how it formed actually? It formed with a single brick, right? First one brick was added, then second brick was added, then third brick was added. Likewise, adding and adding, that formed one complete room, and after that complete building. That means the foundation was laid by only just one brick, okay. So that is also related to the cell. That means if we take the example of human beings or organisms, okay, so we are comparing here organisms with that building, okay. So here we don't have brick obviously, but actually in fully developed organism, we have a single unit by which combining of those units forms a complete organism, and that single unit is called as cell. Okay, now that's why it can be defined as structural and fundamental unit of life. Okay, now you should also know who is the discoverer, who discovered cell. So you might be knowing that Robert Hooke was the scientist who discovered the cell. Okay, there is one more thing. Okay, a cell, you know, it can be of any shape. Inside cell we have one small structure which is called as nucleus, right? Okay, actually the genetic material is present in this nucleus. So this nucleus was discovered by Robert Brown. Okay, so Robert Hooke discovered cell, whereas Robert Brown discovered nucleus. Now actually, if we take the hierarchy of the cell, how the cell combines to form different levels. First, you know, the fundamental unit is cell, right? Combination of cells makes, or you can say the group of cells forms tissues, and then so many groups of tissues makes one organ, and then group of organs make organ system. For example, if we take the example of stomach, alimentary canal, which is also you can say food pipe, mouth, okay, large intestine, small intestine, all these are the organs, right? But when we combine them, it makes organ system, that is digestive system, right? So it's like this, and the interconnection or the coordination of different organ systems makes one organism like us. Okay, this is just the hierarchy of the cell organization. Now there is another thing. Here, Shaladay and Schwann. Okay, these were again two scientists. Shaladay was the botanist and Schwann was the zoologist. Okay, they actually formulated the cell theory. Okay, they actually made cell theory. Okay, I will it is already given in your book, so we will discuss that later. And along with that, we have one more scientist, that is Rudolf Virchow. Okay, this Rudolf Virchow actually gave one sentence which is called omnis cellula e cellula. Okay, I'll repeat, omnis cellula e cellula, which means new cells are formed from pre-existing cells. How? Suppose we have one cell, right? This cell further divides into two cells, and then those two cells further divides into cells, like this. That means all those new cells which are forming by the division, actually they appeared from the pre-existing cell, right? That's why we call it omnis cellula e cellula. It is the term and the meaning is this. Okay. Now, what are the different types of cells? So basically, we have two types of cells, right? First one is prokaryotic cells and the second is eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells, actually, now what are those cells and why we call them prokaryotic cells? Now listen carefully. Suppose I'll give you one example. Bacteria. Okay, this is the structure of bacteria, where this is the outer cell membrane. Okay, here what happens, you know that each cell is having nucleus. Okay, but this is also one cell. Bacteria is actually single celled organism. Okay, so inside this nucleus is actually not present. Okay, you know that inside nucleus we have chromosomes. Here single chromosome is present and which is not covered by any nuclear membrane. Can you see any membrane? No. Okay, so this is the important feature of prokaryotic cells. That means they lack membrane bound nucleus. They have chromosome just present naked, okay, without any envelope. Okay, that is its feature. And along with that, organelles are absent. What are those organelles? Okay, you know that inside a cell we have endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, ribosomes, all these are called organelles. These are absent here. Okay, so that is the feature of prokaryotic cells. Example: bacteria, blue-green algae, all that. Okay, whereas eukaryotic cells are those cells. See, this is the cell membrane, and here center we have prominent nucleus. Okay, inside this we have chromosomes which are fully covered with a proper membrane. Okay, so this is this. So membrane bound nucleus is present, and here organelles are also present, all those organelles which I discussed just now. And eukaryotic cells are mainly present in the higher organisms like human beings and other animals. Okay, basically this chromosome means DNA, genetic material. Okay, this is this. Now you should also know, on the basis of cell number, okay, organisms are further categorized into two parts. What are those? Unicellular organisms, and second is multicellular organisms. Uni means single, that means those organisms which are having only single cell, they are single celled. Okay, example bacteria, just like this. Whereas the multicellular organisms, many cells. Okay, example human beings. Alright, so this is the division on the basis of cell number. But as we are talking about prokaryotic cells, you know, this is the cell having a proper cell membrane. Okay, this cell membrane is actually called as cell envelope. This is the enlarged view of this cell membrane. Okay, so the cell membrane of prokaryotic cells is further having three main parts. Okay, what is that part? The outermost is called as glycocalyx. Alright, after that we have cell wall, and after cell wall we can say the inner side of the cell we have plasma membrane. This is actually the cell envelope for prokaryotic cells. So here I have uploaded the NCERT textbook page. You can see the highlighted sentences, you have to write them down. Okay, you have to make the notes for them in points or in paragraph even you can make. So here what is actually given? Organelles. Okay, in eukaryotic cells we have so many organelles, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria and all. So you can see that, and here's the diagram where so many number of cells are given. Okay, different shapes and sizes like nervous cell, red blood cells. So it's like that. Then along with that, here you can see that prokaryotic cells, PPLO, pleuropneumonia like organisms. Okay, these are also prokaryotic cells, and some bacterias have round shape. So if the shape is spherical we call coccus. Okay, if it is spiral then we call spirillum. So different shapes and different names of bacteria. So then here we have given, I told you about prokaryotic cells, right? So there is no proper nucleus, all the things are given here again. And then cell envelope, I have described that also, glycocalyx, cell membrane and all. Then next is, if the bacteria is motile, okay, then they'll be having a filament, and filament is composed of, it's given here, filament, hook and basal body. Okay, that is actually called as flagella. That means that bacteria is motile, means they can move. Along with that, whole surface is covered with pili and fimbriae. Okay, so all these things you have to note down, whatever I have highlighted here.